What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great week. How could it not be great when your Philadelphia Eagles are 10-1, sitting atop the NFL? But we're here for week 13, baby. We do not sleep in these parts, so it's on to the next one. So we are behind enemy lines with the Eagles' week 13 opponent, the San Francisco 49ers, and we're going to get to know everything about the Eagles' opponent here by getting to know their roster moves, whether it be in season, off season. We'll talk about the division and conference standings, their stats, and then we'll take a look at the team roster by position, the practice squad, the reserves. You'll look at the coaching staff, and then, of course, you'll see the depth chart at the end, all that great stuff as always. But truly appreciate each and every one of you taking the time. Couldn't do this one live tonight, but I'd love to hear from you down below. Ooh, this is going to be a fun one. You know, they've been talking trash for a year, making as many excuses. You've seen their fan base almost at the level of Cowboys fans in whininess. So it's been sad to see, but we get to find out what kind of excuses they have for us on Monday, because Sunday, we're going to whoop that ass. So let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a look at what's a little bit different here about the 49ers since the last time we saw them and dismantled them handily. It was literally one of the most boring games I've ever been to. I loved it. Loved the confetti coming down, being able to see my team go to the Super Bowl while they got to make excuses. So let's take a look at what this team did here. 13-4 last season. You could see didn't have a draft pick until the third round. Had 3 picks in that third round. Took a kicker with one of them, but had a decent draft there. I like Jair Brown a lot. A lot of decent picks in there. You see they added Sam Darnold, Hargrave. They got Chase Young here before the trade deadline. You've got Oliver there as a depth piece, but lost a couple of quarterbacks. You lost a lineman and a bunch of defensive pieces there. Not saying that these are necessarily like the craziest players ever, but they were, key to certain situations here, whether it be starters, backups, but lost a good amount there. Nothing too crazy, but definitely lost, some edge rushers there. And Azeez Al-Shaair. I know how to say his damn name. He's a damn good linebacker for the Titans now. But look, talented dude, Jimmy Ward there. He's a dirty player. He, had a lot of crap to say. I bet he is thankful he does not have to see the Eagles for this game, and I don't blame him for that. But you saw what they've been able to do last year. Had a great season. But let's take a look at what they've been doing this season. We're going to take a look at their division standings, and then we'll look at the NFC there. But you see, atop their division, 8-3, Seahawks trailing Rams and Cardinals there. But look, we took out the Rams earlier this season. We've got the Seahawks and Cardinals coming up, but this is our second matchup within the West, and let's whoop their ass. Now you can see this is 1 versus 2 here, the NFC standings. The Niners were behind the Lions there for a minute, but Lions lost on Thanksgiving, so Niners moved up, but we'll be happy to help the Lions out here by pushing those Niners back just a little bit further for them. But see the Falcons there in 4th because of the division, so the Cowboys there at 5th behind them. A few more wins, but not winning their division. That's unfortunate. Don't know how that feels. Now you got the Seahawks, Vikings, Packers trailing, and you see the rest of the crew there. But now let's take a look at how the Niners have been able to do so well. And as much as I talk crap, they are a really, really good football team, and they've got a lot of talent here. Now, yeah, they've got a system quarterback, but that system quarterback is surrounded with talent here. So let's take a look at what this team has been able to do so far this season. And they're pretty good. Tied for 3rd in points, 3rd in yardage there, 8th in passing, 7th in rushing. Not giving up many sacks there, tied for 4th, not turning the ball over, tied for 3rd on defense. 1st in points, 5th in yardage, passing 12th. So people would say, oh, yeah, that's their weakness. You can throw the ball at them, but they're 1st in interceptions. I mean, I don't know if that's a weakness. Sure, it's not as good as some of the other spots we're going to look at, but this team is stacked, man, and 9th in the league, 3 sacks per game there. As I mentioned, 1st in interceptions, 2nd against the run. The Eagles are now 3rd with a couple yards added on this past game. But you see 2nd in turnovers. So on offense and defense, this team is stacked. And I mean, like, stacked. So let's take a look at it by position. Then at the end, you'll get the depth chart. You'll see what it looks like as a whole. So Now we're going to start off by looking first at the coaching staff. Kyle Shanahan leading the way here, and Chris Forster, Clint Kubiak. They got a lot of other roles here, but the co-coordinators, but Shanahan's the one calling the plays here. Wilks at DC there, and then Brian Schneider, special teams coordinator. Funny, my best friend Brian Steiner, who is, it's actually Brian Snyder, but we call him Steiner. But anyways, he is actually a Bills fan. Made me laugh because, well, they're about to get the same thing the Bills did, but just a little bit worse. So let's look at their system of quarterbacks here. Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold, Brandon Allen. I think you can pretty much put any of these quarterbacks in and you're going to get the same result. So they don't have any excuses here. You know, they whined to the league, got the rule change. So now Brandon Allen can be inactive for this game, but he can be their third quarterback. So if we go through all three of them, I don't want to hear any excuses because you got the rule changed for you, but there's no one on the practice squad, nobody on IR there at quarterback, so you don't see anybody below. But yeah, I don't want to hear excuses. You know how, this game works. You got to manage your roster. I don't know what else to tell you, but best of luck to you because we're coming. Now, running backs, and look, Purdy's having a good year. He's got a lot of passing yards. And look, I think, again, a system quarterback, we all know that, but he's got like 2,800 yards here, 19 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, but he's having a good year. But having a guy like Christian McCaffrey at running back makes everything just easier. 939 rushing yards, 4.9 yards per rush. He's got 11 touchdowns, 85.4 rushing yards per game, but we know we can catch the ball too. 48 receptions, 389 yards, 8.1 yards per catch, and 5 touchdowns there. This dude, he's a freak of nature. They've got Mason, Mitchell, Davis Price, sure. McNichols there on the practice squad, but we all know who you got to watch out for here. And Christian McCaffrey, he is the real deal. So, yeah, we're one of the best against the run, but this guy, he'll get you on the air, the ground, no matter where. So the Eagles have done well, but they've had their struggles at times against certain running backs. So we're going to see. We're going to see how we do, but you got to shut him down. But even if you do, and I apologize, I don't know what the hell happened in the graphic, but Kyle Juszczyk, you will see him on the depth chart. They do have a fullback there. Don't want to leave him out. I must not have uploaded it, but whatever. So you see wide receivers here. Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Jawan Jennings, Ray McLeod, Ronnie Bell. We all know Deebo's been talking very loudly, giving us billboard material. I thank him very much so for that. And, Ayuk, he's doing really well this year, 19.6 yards per catch. And Deebo, you can line him up all over the place. He's only got 1 touchdown this year, though, and he's only got 474 receiving yards. And he's only got 138 rushing yards. 5.3 yards per rush is good, but not doing as much as he's usually done. I know he wants to have a good game here, but I know he's been pissing this team off. So hopefully we go out and smack him right in the mouth. Now you can see the practice squad down below and, of course, the IR. So any position that has someone on the practice squad or IR, you will see them down below. Now, at tight end, we know they've got a stud there in George Kittle. This dude, one of the best. Then you've got Ross Dwelly and you've got Braden Willis. Latu on IR. Tongus there on the practice squad. But Kittle, man, he is a beast. And the second on the team with 667 receiving yards, 14.5 yards per catch, 5 touchdowns. The dude's a beast. You got to watch out for him. He can do it all. So, look, you just saw all the weapons they have for that system quarterback to play with. So, going to be intriguing, but one of the most intriguing things, and I can't wait for the top matchup show, this offensive line going against the Eagles D-line. Oh, it is going to be quite spectacular to watch because, man, they're pretty damn good. And we talked about it. They're tied for 4th and giving up sacks. Got to get after him, man. Spencer Burford, a little banged up there, but tomorrow will be the injury report. I'll let you know about all of the important injuries, what's going on with everyone. Try not to get too crazy with the stats and the injury stuff. Because, well, the next couple of days, that's what those shows are about. But there's the offense. Now let's jump over to the defensive side of the ball. And we all know, everybody in the media, the fans try to tell me, look, we're screwed. The season's over. We lost Hargrave. And I told you, Jalen Carter is better than Javon Hargrave. He can actually stop the run, pass rush, do it all. Hargrave's a great pass rusher, but if you're a stat watcher, you might think he's better. But if you watch football or know anything about it, you know that Jalen Carter is better. So, good for them. Happy that he is doing well over there. And look, this week you're going to get your ass whipped. 6 sacks, though, on the season for Hargrave. He is whooping ass. 7 tackles for a loss. The man, he knows how to pass rush. We all know that very well. Happy to see him doing good there. He's got Armstead there with him. And look, man, he's another stud. He's got 5 sacks, 4 tackles for loss. You've got Kinlaw there, Givens, Davis. So they're stacked. Drake Jackson on IR right now, but man, that's some beast. Almost as good as the Eagles, but man, very, very close. Now, the edge rusher is another one that's close to the Eagles here. You are loaded with talent. I mean, this is pretty amazing. I'm just busting balls here, but this might be one of the best duos here in the league with Bosa and Young. And we know the Eagles have one of the best duos with Reddick and Sweat. So going to be fun to watch the battle of the trenches for both teams on both sides of the ball, but Bosa, Young, and then you've got Farrell, Gregory, and Beal there as depth. But Bosa right now, you know, he's leading the team, 8 sacks, 9 tackles for a loss, 2 passes deflected, a forced fumble, recovery. Dude is a beast. And now that they've added Chase Young, he's got a sack and a half since he's been there. Putting those two back together, that is nightmare material. So the Eagles line continue to clean things up. And let's hope we get Lane back here for this game, because we know Bosa couldn't do a damn thing against Lane Johnson, and neither can Chase Young. So now at linebacker, Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, Oren Burks. Then you've got Flanagan, Fowles, and Winters there. And look, Fred Warner is probably the best, if not one of the best, with Roquan Smith linebackers in this game. The dude is fun to watch, leads the team in tackles by like 16. He's got 95 tackles, 2 sacks, 5 tackles for a loss, 8 passes deflected, 3 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles. The dude is a freak of nature, and they're going to do all they can to shut down Jalen Hurts. This is going to be insane to watch, and he is going to be on one of those top matchups. Wow, going to be intense here, but they've got some really good linebackers. I think Greenlaw is one of the most underrated guys there, and Burks is decent, but yeah, Warner and Greenlaw together, predominantly there for their defense. I would say 25-30% for the third linebacker, but they're nasty. Now, in the secondary, we talk about it, you know, oh, yeah, this is their weak. There's not really much of a weakness here, dude. Sure, they're 12th in yardage, but still decent. You're almost top 10. And they're number 1 in interceptions. You know, you got to take numbers with a grain of salt. And these guys, if you watch them, they're pretty good. Charvarius Ward, he's a tough kid. I still, you know, we talked about this guy years ago, Diamador Lenore. I like this kid's game. And then you've got Ambry Thomas there, Oliver, Womack, Luter. So you've got some intriguing pieces here, but man, Ward's got 2 interceptions. Lenore's got 2 interceptions. These guys are out there getting it, man. And we'll break it more down into how they're doing this season and coverage and all that stuff with the top matchups. But look, they're doing decent. They get interceptions, and the Eagles have been turning it over at times. But if we can just get things clicking for this game, get these receivers going, you see the 49ers trying to piss off our whole team, good luck to you doing that. So I love it, man. I like to see AJ working these dudes, Devontae, Alameda, Julio, let's go. Throw a little quiz in there, whatever you got to do. Let's go. Now, at safety, you've got Jair Brown, then you've got Deshaun Gibson. Now, Hufanga and Odom on IR. That is major to lose Hufanga. Odom, a depth piece there, but Jair Brown and Gibson is a good duo there, but they've only got Taylor Hawkins there on the practice squad. We'll see if they do anything else or use one of their versatile corners to help out there. But look, man, you never want to see anybody banged up, but the Eagles know very well about the injury bug right now. So, hey, you just hope that the next man up can get things done, and we'll hope so for them. Unfortunate loss of Hufanga, but we know he is quite dirty, so thankfully he will not be playing this game. And now, Moody at kicker, Wishnowski at punter, Pepper, long snapper, and then Ray McLeod III as the return specialist. So you see that is their team from, each position by position. But now let's take a look at a full list so you can actually see. So I'll give you the list of the practice squad, then you'll see the reserves, and then I'll give you the depth chart of the offense, defense, and special teams. So let's take a gander here at the practice squad, and you can see, holy hell, they've got 5 guys on defense and then 11 on offense. A plethora of offensive linemen, as you had seen on the position breakdown, and then a few wide receivers, and then you got a running back in there. So a lot of linemen in there trying to figure some things out, I guess, but that is the practice squad for the 49ers here this week. And then here is their full reserves list. These are the guys that will not be on this upcoming depth chart. You just saw them at the bottom in all those positions, but Here's the full list: Gray, Hufanga, Jackson, Latu, Odom, and Zekel. Sure. But now we're going to go into the depth chart. Let's take a look at what they look like on offense here. And as you can see, not much has changed. So going to be a lot of the same stuff. They added, a bunch of depth pieces there on the offensive line. Got some guys on the practice squad. You got a depth tight end, a depth wide receiver, backup quarterbacks. Again, all pretty much the same system guy there. So look, beyond that, though, a stacked offense. And it's pretty weird. I hear people complaining about the Eagles having a good roster. I don't know if that means that the 49ers aren't good because they have a good roster, and you're not allowed to have a good roster to be a good team in the NFL from what the media and fans are saying right now. So I'm not sure, but it is a good roster. So not sure if I'm allowed to say they're a good team. Now, on to the defensive side of the ball, you see that they added Hargrave, added Young, and in the draft getting Brown, now taking over for Hufanga. But you see all the other depth pieces they had added in red there. So anybody in red new to the team, just like with the Eagles, the color is different. That means they are new to the roster. But those are the things they have changed on offense and defense since last time we saw them. And here is the special teams. Moody taken in the 3rd round there, which not looking too great, but hey, I guess he could turn things around. We'll see. 3rd round pick. Really? Okay. But you see McLeod taking care of punt returner and kick returner, but they got Bell there. And hey, you saw last year in the playoffs, they were using Deebo Samuel. They can use Ayuk there at punt returner. So in case of emergency, or you're just looking for a big home run, maybe you throw somebody like that back there. But that's all I've got for you, ladies and gentlemen. That was Behind Enemy Lines, Week 13. Your Philadelphia Eagles opponent, the San Francisco 49ers. I'm sorry, the 49ers. But I can't wait for these wines to stop, although it probably is only going to get worse after Sunday. So let's all strap in. But tomorrow I will be back around 4:30, 5 o'clock, depending on when they get these out. Actually, it might be later because we are playing San Francisco, a West Coast team. Might take them till around 7 o'clock to get this damn injury report out. We'll see. But whenever they get it out, I'll drop it to you. And then I'll make a video breakdown letting you know injuries for both teams. And then, of course, on Thursday, you will get the top matchups, top 13 between both these bad boys, and it's going to be a slobber knocker. So I cannot wait for that one. Of course, the game status report on Friday, so you'll know who's questionable, who's out, all that great stuff. And then on Saturday, the practice squad elevations, updated depth charts, all that stuff, keeping you up to date every single day. Now, if you're watching this, you're probably wondering what the hell's going on with Shaq Leonard. He is visiting with the Eagles tomorrow. My sources told me. Now I just saw an hour later Adam Schefter say that. So if Schefter's backing me up, I think it's happening. So sources telling me he's actually coming to a special place. So I'm hopeful to get in his ear. Let's effing go, baby. Hopeful to have him here. But as I've said before, I think he would sign to the practice squad. They got rid of Josiah Scott. Think they're going to either add Justin Evans off of IR, or maybe, depending on what's going on with Cunningham's injury, we'll find out tomorrow, maybe they add Van Sumeren. But I'll keep you up to date with any kind of roster moves, practice squad moves. You know there will always be a video or a post. If something's happening, I will keep you up to date with it. But I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. If you got anything from this, do me a favor, hit that like button. You can always subscribe. Join us, talking some birds. But I hope you're all having yourselves a great week. If you need me, feel free to reach out, whether it's about the birds, life, whatever it may be. Always appreciate you guys. Always try to be there for you as you are for me. But until next time, I'm Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all stay safe out there. Have a great night. And as always, say it with me now. Go Birds!